Plus it can give we no reason. When it was PPP season, they mash up the thing just so. But people understand Guyana rise. What you win the oil, you win the lottery. No more PPP to run the country. No, people know. Let us spark a fan and PPP in a. Put them on the ground by the roadside. Tell them get out the face, don't come inside. People let's
Corriverton! You look great tonight. Thank you for coming out and painting Corriverton green and gold. Forget all those German black, red, and yellow flag you sing along the way. Corriverton is green and gold tonight. Thank you for making tonight possible. But we have work to do in Corriverton, and you've heard from the speakers. APNU and AFC didn't win Region 6 in 2015. But we will win it in 2020.
ready.
And we'll win it in 2025.
Yeah.
And we'll win it in 2030.
Yeah. Lord.
Corriverton, this rally is live streaming. Every eye in Guyana is looking at you tonight. Every ear is listening to you. Let us give them a shout. Region 6 will win for APNU+AFC. We have work to do. In the local government elections, I was on the East Bank. I was in Rose Hall. I came here to Corriverton. And PPP went 15 out of 17 NDCs. My heart was broken. I got sick right away. But not again. How could it happen? Ganga Prasad come here and he chased Roy Bijnath out of office. You remember? Ganga Prasad came here. He removed 8 NDCs and installed PPP IMCs. In this whole country, the PPP installed 36 IMCs, removing elected neighborhood democratic councils. How could it happen that Region 6 still vote to the PPP? We have to bring about a change in this region. No more Ganga Prasad, no more IMCs. You have heard it tonight from all of the speakers. What went wrong is that as long as you elect a PPP RDC, you will punish. As long as you elect a PPP NDC, you will punish. As long as you elect a PPP town council, you will punish.
Ready.
You cannot vote, Region 6, for a party which destroys local democracy. You have the power of the vote. Political power is in your hands. And on the 2nd of March, you must exercise that power to take control of this town council, take control of this region, take control of Guyana.
Forward ever, backwards never.
Without political power, you can protest all you want. You can picket all you want, but you can't change your life in Region 6. We have to control this town council. We have to control this region. We have to control the NDCs. And the time to start is on Monday, the 2nd of March, 2020. I became president because I wanted to get power to change your lives. And I've started to do that. Let us continue. I was in government for 10 months, from May 2015. And in 10 months, I was able to hold local government elections the PPP can hold in 20 years.
Forward ever, backwards never.
It's hard. It's hard for me to hold 2 local government elections. I can't control Region 6. But we will change that. Because tonight you heard from our speakers that people's eyes are open to the PPP dictatorial tendencies. It's a winner-takes-all government. We are the big Benab. We are 6 parties. We invite people to come and share their views from Oriana all over this region. Amerindian people, African people, Indian people, Chinese and Portuguese. We have a big Benab in which every race is recognized and treated with respect. We are not winner takes all. So let us build a strong coalition based on the APNU+AFC and move this region forward. My brothers and sisters, this is a great region. This is a region that is bigger than Belgium. This is a tongue which is a commercial powerhouse. We could do better. We can move this region further and faster if we got rid of the PPP-controlled Regional Democratic Council. You can see how regionalization is changing the face of this region. And we can go further. Because when you vote on the 2nd of March, you're voting for a planner. You're not voting for a protester. You're voting for a man who has initiated the decade of development. For the next 10 years, from 2020 to 2029, you will see how development funded by petroleum revenues will move Region 6 further.
Forward ever, backwards never.
On the 20th of December last year, I declared National Petroleum Day. Don't forget it. It is now a national observance. Every December, we will observe National Petroleum Day. That is where the money will come from. It's your money, it's your own.
Ready!
But I am a seafarer man, and I saw prosperity coming to Region 6. In the first year I was in office, when I was swearing in these very chairmen of the RDCs, I announced something called the PARD, the Plan of Action for Regional Development. Every region has a plan of action, but the regions which have PPP regional chairmen are refusing to implement the development plans. They don't want the coalition to look good. That is the problem. Everywhere there's a PPP regional chairman, we have problems. They're holding back progress. But this regional plan of action caters first and foremost for our young people. We have a plan of action for young people. Youth employment. You know, my brothers and sisters, in the 1960s, when the PNC and UF took over from the PPP, youth unemployment was rampant. And the government of the day had to set up something called the Guyana Youth Corps. It then became the Guyana National Service. And in 2000, the start of the year of decadence, under President Jagdeo, they scrapped the Guyana National Service. A lot of young people couldn't get training, they couldn't get employment because the National Service was scrapped. Well, year before the last, I re-established the Guyana Youth Corps. so that young people could get training and get employment. The PPP broke up the national service and I fixed them. I fixed them back. Our young people will be trained, and the Guyana Youth Corps, which is already in existence at Kurukuru, will be training 1,000 young people every year for 10 years. 10,000 young people will come out of that campus. A leader leads. The fakes complain. That is what the fake people do. I lead, and the young people will have a good life under the APNU+AFC. My brothers and sisters, we established something called the RAID, the Rural Agricultural Infrastructure Development, and I appointed a Minister of Rural Affairs to look after the very problems that you've been complaining about. You rice farmers and cash crop farmers. Our Minister of Rural Affairs, working under the Ministry of Agriculture, will ensure that your drainage and irrigation problems, especially in Blackbush Polder, are fixed. We'll make sure that your rice farmers get adequate water on time. We will make sure that your village economies are strengthened. That is what RAID will do. I'm not saying this because elections coming up next month. It is already happening, and villages are benefiting from that program. There are 205 villages in this region, and every one of them will get benefits out of that RAID program. The first time we've had a Minister of Rural Affairs, and he or she, whoever occupies that position after the 2nd of March, will make sure that our rural economies continue to thrive. My brothers and sisters, I want to tell you something about the sugar industry. You heard it already. Whenever you pass going to Temeri Airport, you see some houses. That used to be a sugar estate, the Diamond Sugar Estate. Lusignan used to be an estate, LBI. What happened to them? The PPP government dismantled them and shut them down. When the PPP was in government from 1992 to 2015, they sent home 5,000 sugar workers. That is a true story. Gawu had to sue the government to get benefits, retrenchment benefits, after they dismissed the sugar workers at Diamond Sugar Estate. That is what the PPP is doing. They're blaming us for errors that they committed. I went into Albion Sugar Estate. I went into the factory. Ask the PPP how many of their presidents went into Albion Sugar Factory. If you go into that sugar factory, you'll see the mess that they left APNU+AFC to clear up. They did not maintain the sugar estate. They put all their hopes, Mr. Smartman, Mr. Noel, buy that wretched Skeldon factory. He know everything, but he don't know how to fix it. But we are keeping 3 mega estates functioning. 10,000 people are still employed in the sugar industry. We did not shut down the East Berbice estate. It is functioning. We did not shut down the West Berbice estate. It is functioning. We did not shut down the West Demerara estate. It is functioning. It's the PPP that shut down the East Demerara estate. We are restructuring and saving the sugar industry. So do not be fooled. We have a plan for hinterland youth. We established the Hinterland Employment Youth Service, HEYS. And so far, over 3,800 young people have benefited from that program. We established the Sustainable Livelihood Entrepreneurial Development Program, SLED, and so far 2,500 young people have benefited. We are working for young people. We are working for employment. And this is what we will continue to do till we banish unemployment from this country. We have set up a regional public broadcasting service in Oriala, in Aishalton, in Lethem, in Madi, in Bartik, in Mabaruma, in Anna Regina, so that the people of all of the regions will get the benefit of public information service because of this government. We have a plan for public education. This region alone has 5 out of 30 David G buses. It is called the Public Education Transportation Service. On my birthday on the 15th of July 2015, I launched the PETS, the 5Bs program. And right now, those buses are taking children to school free. And at the end of this decade of development, I don't want to see any child paddling a canoe to go to school or walking 4 or 5 miles to go to school. I want to see every child in school, and the public education transportation service, 5Bs, 3Bs, whatever you call it, will get your children to school free. And let me tell you this. Some people are worried about the cash grant. Our government has accepted the cash grant, and we will ensure that parents who keep their children in school get grants to keep their children in school. Every child.
Forward ever, backwards never.
You heard about school feeding program. We will ensure that your child does not go to school hungry. Once the child gets to school, he or she will have a warm breakfast so that she doesn't have to fall asleep during the classes. He'll be able to follow his lessons or her lessons. So all of these schemes, my brothers and sisters, are being implemented by your government. But there's more, because we have planned to remain in office for the next 5 years. This is not guesswork.
Forward ever, backwards never.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Ready? Yeah, 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 yeah.
You know, in this region alone, there are 25 squatter settlements. I couldn't believe it. A region that could be the richest region in Guyana. We have 25 squatter settlements. And you know where they are, at Hampshire. Right here at Corriverton, Little Africa, Little India. At Ankerville. We have to abolish squatter settlements. We have to abolish shanty towns and slums. And we have already started working on that. This is not an election promise. The Central Housing and Planning Authority and the Ministry of Communities are already working on it. We have set up a national squatter settlement regularization commission. And we are going to abolish squatting in this country in all regions. Wherever they exist, I want your children, our grandchildren, to grow up with decent houses in decent communities. That's why I changed the name from the Ministry of Local Government to the Ministry of Communities. Human communities. And let me tell you, if any sugar workers are here, or former sugar workers, or wives and children of sugar workers, the cabinet has already set up a national land settlement scheme to deal with state lands. There is a National State Land Commission which will make sure that sugar workers who were separated from Gaisuko will be able to access land to do farming. That is what a caring government does.
Forward ever, backwards never.
The State Land Settlement Committee is already working. Former workers at Wales are already farming and producing food for their families. We have not done like the PPP, how they abandoned the sugar workers. We are providing land. Our government met with Gaisuko. Our government provided a commission of inquiry report, and we are working to the report to make sure the sugar industry remains sustainable and to make sure sugar workers who no longer work in the industry receive some benefits. They have not had to sue us and go to court because we paid them their separation benefits, and we will ensure that they have lands to settle on. My brothers, you heard about it. You all know, you have heard about Dr. Rishi Thakur? Yes, he's from right here in the quarantine. From the time we got in, there were so many piracy attacks. Housewives didn't know if the husband's coming back home. Fishermen didn't know if they'd see the wife again. We started a rigorous program of air patrols, a rigorous program of maritime patrols. And we practically abolished piracy. Many of the pirates went over to Suriname. And they killed many Guyanese fishermen. And Dr. Rishi Thakur from this region, Region 6, last week presented his report. And we will implement that report. But the APNU+AFC government will abolish piracy in Region 6.
Forward ever, backwards never.
We have a plan. We have a regional action plan for security. We know there are still problems in this region. That is why we brought mounted police who are living and working in this region. You all don't know we have mounted police in Blackbush? Yes. Every day we think about the safety of Region 6. And the mounted police are patrolling the back dams. We are going to improve the maritime police to make sure the rivers are patrolled and the coast is patrolled. During this decade of development, we will restore an aviation wing to the Guyana Police Force so they can fly over the coastline and see any contraband. I don't mean to hurt anybody, you know. But we have to stop smuggling. I know you all don't smuggle, but we have to remove smuggling because the people are giving Region 6 a bad name. So we have a regional action plan for security. You can call it RAPS if you like, RAPS. I got a name for everything, but I make it work. And this region is going to be safe for housewives. It's going to be safe against bandits. It's going to be safe against murders. People talk about the troubles on the Barrage Jagdeo from 2000 to 2010. 1,431. Don't forget that number. 1,431 murders during the decade of Jagdeo from 2000 to 2010. That is why I've called this the decade of development, when we will make Region 6 safe. So, my brothers and sisters, we are working for you. And I don't come to you with election promises. I come to you with performance that we have put in over the last 4.5 years. Performance. East Berbice, as I said, is bigger than Belgium. You have tremendous agriculture potential. Up to now, you still produce more than half of the sugar in Guyana. You produce rice, you produce vegetables, milk, meat. This region should not be poor. The region is poor because the RDC has a poor mentality. The PPP has a poor mentality. Believe me, once APNU+AFC take control of the regional administration, you will see progress in this region. You have everything it takes. You have your own university campus. You have 3 tongues. You have a hospital. You will build an aerodrome. We will develop a depot in the Berbice River, a harbor, so that you can attract commerce from the Caribbean and from Suriname, legitimate commerce. All these things are there. But ask yourselves, Region 6, why is the population falling? If you've got such a nice RDC from the PPP, why are people running away from Region 6? They're running away because of the RDC. That is why they're running away. Under the PNC, this region had over 142,000 people in 1992. Under the PPP, the region now has 110,000 people. Can you imagine that? Under the PNC, they had more people in Region 6. And when the PPP took control of the region, the population went down by over 30,000. Because the RDC is not practicing stewardship for the people of East Berbice Quarantine. They're not demonstrating leadership, and they're not building partnerships with the people of this great region. People are still fleeing this region. APNU+AFC in charge of the RDC will bring people back. I know where they are. I meet them in Liberty Avenue. As soon as I see them, I say, where you from? Which Guyana? Port Morant. You know, they're from Quarantine. They're from Crabwood Creek. Why are they going away? We can promise them a good life here in Region 6, here in Guyana. Let us try to regain the economic power of this region by preventing our children and our grandchildren from running away. Let us make Region 6 attractive for investment from the diaspora.
Forward ever, backwards never.
Ready, 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 ready.
The PPP has been taking this region for granted. The PPP has been taking Region 6 for granted. It regards Region 6 like a vote bank. Don't matter where you say they can always vote for PPP. Not so. Not so. You have been able to see through the PPP. The PPP is now in decline. Somebody mentioned what happened after the Jagons died. When we were at Lethem, there was the son, the only son of Chedi and Janet Jagan. And he came out there, Joey Jagan, came out to endorse David Granger as president. Under Janet Jagan, the last election that she ran in 1997, I know they had a lot of skullduggery, but let us say that she won 220,000 votes in 1997. You know who's the next leader to run elections for PPP in 2001? Barrett Jagdeo. He took Janet Jagan's 220,000 votes and converted it into 210,000 votes, losing 10,000 votes. He ran elections again in 2006. By that time, he lost 28,000 more votes. And the PPP score went down to 182,000. He ran for election again in 2011. By this time, he lost 18,000 more votes. And the PPP ran down to 164,000 votes countrywide. That is Mr. Know-all. He took a victory of 220,000 votes. And after 3 elections, he was able to reduce it to 164,000 votes. The PPP votes are going south. They're going down. And the APNU+AFC votes are going up.
Forward ever! Backwards never!
Everywhere, the PPP used to call a stronghold. They tried to have a stranglehold. But what is happening in Region 2? The scores are falling. In Region 3, the scores are falling. Region 5, the scores are falling. Region 6, the scores are falling. Everywhere, the PPP is losing votes and the APNU+AFC is rising. We will rise on the 2nd of March. My friends, elections are not about magic. Elections are about mathematics. And we have to learn to count in Region 6. We have to get the numbers out on the 2nd of March. The PPP is losing because it's not interested in serving the people after it wins. And by now you should realize that and recognize that the PPP cannot develop Region 6. The PPP is not as attractive even to members and residents of Region 6 as they used to be. Because there are internal problems in the PPP and there are external problems. The internal problems are coming from their own supporters who don't like the way their leaders are being selected. And the external problems are coming from pressure from the APNU+AFC. Ready. Everywhere in this country, APNU+AFC is building clinics, we're building roads, we're building wells. The PPP is protesting and picketing and trying to prevent development. This is what happened in Region 8. The regional chairman, Mr. Bonaventura Fredericks, said he's fed up with being told to block development and he left the PPP. He's still chairman, but he's come over to APNU+AFC. The PPP is cracking up. Everywhere the PPP controls the RDC, they try to block progress. Everywhere APNU+AFC is pushing development all around this region, all around the country. You can see what is taking place. The PPP is suffering a serious crisis of leadership. And we must seize this moment to ensure that we in the APNU+AFC take control of this region at this moment of crisis. The PPP is beatable. We have the winning team of Granger and Ramjatan, and we will beat Ali and Phillips on the 2nd of March. We have 6 parties. The Alliance for Change, the Grand Action Party, the Justice for All Party, the National Front Alliance, the People's National Congress, and the Working People's Alliance. 6 better than 1. My friends, 2020 is the year. March is the month. And the 2nd is the day when APNU+AFC will win Region 6. Let us strategize. Let us go out into all of the neighborhoods and mobilize. Let us take control of this great region. Let us bring development to Region 6. Can we do it? Will we do it? Okay. We are together. We are stronger and they are weaker. Let us go out and win. Let us go.
Na 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 na.